let's jump into at least the bottom background piece on that. We do need to do a background on these one. It makes it look just so much better than just having the floating pieces in a sea of white. So we are going to do a background. In looking at the reference photo on that, you'll notice it's a little bit of a lighter color here, and then a darker value back over here. That's kind of a thing. We'll still try to mimic that a little bit on those. But this is more of a medium, kind of a medium gray on here. And I think I'm going to do a little bit of a value shift with it anyway on those. And that it's going to be slightly lighter here and then go a little bit darker as it moves to the background on those. So maybe let's start out with, I'm going to work my way back, I think, on that one. So the foreground area is going to be my light blue. Now I'm kind of going in reverse of what I've been doing. I've been doing the dark stuff first and then working towards the light. This time I'm going to go the other way just because I want to work from front to back. Seems to work pretty good. And so we're going to put a base down of our light blue. Oopsies. Thought it was light blue. Maybe it was the dark blue. Oh, there we go. So we have a light blue coming up here. And let's use horizontal strokes to make that work. I'm just going to hold it down at the top here, just because that paint's a little drier. And so we'll just move it on across there, light blue once again, as our foreground value. And so we have that part right about there. And I'm just going to take a little bit. I'm almost out of this the middle one, you know. But let's see how we do. I have some more over here. And so then it's going to transition into this a little bit, but maybe not even that dark. As I'm working this forward, blending it in. I think I need to jump into more paint. So I'm going to move that over to the side for a second. And if you do need to mix up more paint, you're welcome to do so. I mean, sometimes you just gotta do it. I actually mixed up 3 different paints because I had 3 different classes. So I have 3 bunches of paint. And so I'm actually working in this value here next. This is this one. And this is a little bit more subtle of a change, huh? And so now this is going to be the main value into here. Let's get that in first. And then we'll decide what to do with it as it comes close to the sides. Okay, so this is the value going, and I'm going to go to about right there, that height, and little bits here. And so I just want to get up to close to the various objects that are there. Okay, so now that I have that up to the various objects, let's go ahead and work our blend a little bit more. Let's have it just by blending this paint together. Just painting along the seam, taking some of the darker, then moving it down into the lighter, taking some of the lighter, moving it up into the darker, so that it blends. A nice little bit of a transition. Okay, so that's a pretty good blend. Very, very subtle. Now, as this part right here gets close to the cast shadow, it's going to go just a little bit lighter. Okay, and so let's do that. That was our, let's go back to that other value along the cast shadow. So right along here, it's going to get just a little bit lighter. Like that. Go right up to the edge of the cast shadow with my light blue and clean that off. And now this, we're going to just kind of brush the seam as well, right? Just like that. And so then that just makes a subtle transition. Okay, now along this area right here, it's got to go a little darker. And so I'm going to get some of this stuff. The tricky part is making them blend in all the directions. Okay, so this part right here, right next to this part, all the way up to there, this gets just a little bit darker, right into there. And so now this has to blend. So I'm just pulling that darker down into the lighter area just a little bit. So just a little darker right in through there. Sweet. Okay, now along here it's going to get lighter, so I got to go back to my lighter value. And so along here, light blue. Because the rule is this: when you have two values that are different values, and where they meet up, the dark value gets darker and the light value gets lighter. Okay, so here's the tricky one, making the blend right here. Okay, so this should have a nice blend to it. Just like that. How sweet is that? Remember, it did get darker right here. Okay, now these ones are pretty similar in value. Question is, do I want to make them lighter or darker? I think we need to go darker. So starting right here, on the sphere, the dark gets darker. Okay. Then let's blend that as well. Tricky part right here once again is that transition where you have the cast shadow and then all of a sudden it becomes the background. And we need this to be just a subtle blend. And then lightly tickle, 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 tickle. Like that. So we have this values that they're coming here. It starts light here, gradually starts getting darker, but when they approach these other areas, they have a tendency to change their value on that one. And that's what we were looking to do. Okay, now this one was the medium. So right here, light, medium, and then dark. I wanted it to go just a little bit darker, maybe. Maybe up a little bit more. Now I want it to go darker. So I want it to go to this value next. And then this can be our value, but I don't want it to be that dark. That's really dark. I want to be a mixture of that. So I'm going to come get some more of this stuff. I'm going to mix it in here. Okay, and this is the edge of the table. Okay. Now I got some of this same stuff on my brush right here. I'm going to start with a little bit of this. And maybe mix in a little bit of this for these areas. These are kind of hard. This is a real small area. Makes this small brush look like it's a shovel or something. Let's rotate around a little bit so I can get this edge. Okay. That's that little part right there. Need to go a little more pointy right like that. There we go. And then this value over here, that one's got to be that mixture again. Let's start out with a little bit of this. And then let's try mixing in a little bit of this. Since that is farther away, I think I'm okay with that. Especially having this just a little darker right here. Let's rotate that around so I can put this in. I want to go right up to the edge so I don't leave any little white dots. Like that. Then I did want to do the brush strokes going this way. Maybe something like that. So now we have the table on which it all sits, with the lighter down here gradually going darker as it comes back into the background with those. That was pretty cool. So that's probably a good pause.